everybody, welcome to my YouTube. Mandy Miller here, exercise science extraordinaire. Today I have Sam with me. She's one of my students. She's helping me out. We actually are teaching a class this semester to help everybody learn about exercise modification and progression. So we are going to walk through some squat modifications, squat form, lunge modifications, and lunge form, and then add some progressions to those. But the biggest thing I want you to take away is if you are feeling any pain in your ankles, your knees, or your back when you're doing squats and lunges, really check the form here that Sam is graciously offering to walk us through while I talk about it so that you guys can make sure that you're doing it right. The number one thing in any exercise, Sam, do you remember, that you want to do? It's the number one cue you always want to give.
Tucking them abs.
Yeah, tucking them abs. Brace the core, man. Brace the core. So that's what we're going to make sure that she does first. So we're going to start with squats. So go ahead and brace your core. I'm going to have her face forward first. So her feet are, this is just a general squat form. So her feet are just a little bit wider than her hips. Toes can be pointed out just a tiny bit. So our core is braced, our glutes are engaged, and she's going to go ahead and turn sideways for me. She's going to sit down into that squat. Knees stay behind the toes. Hips are back, chest is up. And we want the weight to be in the back half of the foot. So we want the heel to be on the ground. And then we're going to drive up through the heel, through the back of the leg. She's going to come all the way back to standing. So everything back here is what's driving the move back up to the top. Now so go ahead and go through a couple of those just so we can see them. So knees stay back. And one really cool thing about a squat to think about is if you go down slower and go up faster, you're going to get a lot more out of it. Because when the muscles are lengthening, that's when they're going to be working the hardest. All right, sweet. All right, so now turn forward for me. We're going to set up a sumo squat. So feet are going to be nice and wide, toes pointed out. We want to go straight down into the squat. So go ahead and you can go from the side or the front on this one, either way. Go straight down into the squat, keeping these knees in line and behind the toes again. Knees are going out wide because the toes are pointing out. She's bracing the quads. Look at that! She's working so hard! And then she's going to come back up. So very similar to a regular squat, except the difference is now the change of position is going to engage a different part. Yeah, I like that you're doing it while I'm up close to the camera. That's good. Engage different part of the legs, which is going to make it burn a little more on your inner thigh. All right, sweet. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a couple of lunges. Oh, wait. Let's show them modification. So I'm going to show you a modification and progression with squats. So you can just do a regular squat, Sam. So what we're going to do is if you have bad knees, bad hip, bad back, or you're just not strong enough yet, you only need to go halfway down or even a quarter way down into the range and then back up. That's going to help you build up the strength to be able to go lower over time. There we go. And then to kick it up a notch, and you can do this with any squats that you're doing, you can go down, come halfway up, and back down, and then all the way up. That's just going to give you a little extra burn there. Yeah. All right. So now we're going to move on to lunges. So when you do a lunge, we typically start just like Sam is with our feet right about hip width to a little more than hip width. The wider our base when we start, the better our balance is going to be, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so then you're going to take one leg, step it back. So for this part, go ahead and turn sideways. You want to step it back so that when you come down, those knees are in a 90-90 position. Yeah. All right, you can come back up because I know your legs are getting tired. So we really want to make sure that the weight is being carried in this front foot here and the back half of the foot. So go ahead and drop it down for me. This is a full range of motion. See how our chest is up nice and high, and you're really driving through this front leg. This back leg's almost just a kickstand here. All right, so you can hold it there for just a second. So now the progression for this, to make it more difficult, would be very similar. You could do that bottom half and hold. I'm not going to bring your feet in just so you can take a break. And so to make it easier, same thing as the squat. Halfway down to a quarter of the way down and back up instead of going through the full range of motion, or you could add that bottom half. I want to show you two other squat moves though, or lunge moves, so you want to face forward. I'm going to show you a side lunge, which is a little more difficult than a regular lunge, and then I'm going to show you a curtsy lunge, which is even more difficult than a side lunge, because it's going to require more balance. So go ahead and step out for me. Step sideways, like this. There we go. So we want to make sure, so I'm going to show you guys this from the front and the side. Actually, Sam's going to show you this from the front and the side. So what I want you to do is we're going to bend this leg and keep this leg straight and sit into it. So all of that weight should be carried in the back half of your foot. This knee is going to stay behind the toe. If you could show them from the front again. The other one mistake I see a lot with this is this back foot that comes off the ground. We want this foot to stay flat on the ground. Don't lock that knee, just keep it soft, but keep that leg straight. So you can go ahead and do a couple of those and try to think about when you do it, sitting in like you were sitting into a chair, very much like a squat. There you go. All right, now the next thing I'm going to show you is a curtsy lunge. These are more difficult because they require more balance because you have a narrower base of support. So go ahead and face the camera. And so a curtsy lunge doesn't require, I see a lot of people do this. We do not need to come all the way out here. It's just like right here or directly behind your foot. Right here is going to give you a little more balance. And then you're just going to lunge, make sure this back foot is back far enough. And then we're just going to sink down into the lunge and come back up. So you can do any of these with weights or without weights, but I feel that, you feel that? Oh yeah, I really feel that. All right, so those are your modifications and progressions that you can use. You can add weights. If you're gonna do a curtsy lunge with weights, I would hold the weight in the leg of the foot that is forward. If you're gonna do side lunges with a weight, I would hold the weight with the hand opposite of the leg that is bending. If you guys have any questions, make sure you ask. We are here. Sam is here. I'm excited to have some of you do this with me. That was only 6.5 minutes. Did it feel longer? Yeah. That felt so much longer. You guys just got so much information in such a short period of time. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you rock your workout. Brace your core. See you soon.